Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Turnpike Sports Book Report. The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's edition of the Book Report, where we're going to talk about, the state and national sports betting numbers that have been released over the past week. We've got a bunch of launches to talk about, 2 in New Jersey to be exact. And we've got legislative updates. We've even got a lot of deals to talk about. I'll be honest with you, more and more deals are happening, and some of them are very unique. But before we get into a lot of the deals, let's talk some numbers here. And before we get into the individual state and the top tens that we're going to go through in terms of handle for the sports betting numbers, we said at the top of the show we can't wait for football. And Play USA sent out a nice report regarding their anticipation of the betting numbers for the upcoming football season.
So what are they thinking?
Well, they're saying
it's got to be huge.
They're saying more than $20 billion will be wagered on NFL and college. That's both markets.
It's huge. Yep.
It's kind of interesting the way they have it broken down. They're saying at least $12 billion will be bet on NFL games and about $8 billion on college games. I actually thought the college number would be a little lower than the NFL numbers.
Well, there are so many college teams, so you got to take that into account. So I'm doing my research on college football. So hopefully, I don't do very well in college football because I just don't put on in the time. But I'm putting in the time this year, and I'm really hitting it hard. So we'll see how I do.
Well, the 2 sets of numbers, the $12 billion and the $8 billion, they exclude parlay bets. So you're looking at just single game wagering to be in their estimation to be around $20 billion.
Everyone does parlays. It's not a good idea, but everyone does parlays. So if you put parlays into that number will be astronomical.
I wonder if you figure in the way parlay betting has been like taking over the markets everywhere. I wonder if you're talking even more than the $20 billion.
That's what I said.
$30 billion.
Like I said, the number would be astronomical if you put in the parlay handle into those numbers. So everyone says parlays they're not the way to go. You're not going to win money, but if they hit, you win big, but you rarely hit. And but people do them. And you know what? And truth be told, I do them too. So.
And so do I. And actually, parlay betting and parlay insurance now is a big thing for sportsbook promos out there.
Never did the insurance part.
It's actually kind of a interesting way. If you're going to make money betting, you do it on the single games. The parlay stuff is kind of fun, but I always prefer single game betting more so than parlays. It's kind of interesting. The 2020 season for football, and this is both NFL and college, they had about $7.5 billion bet on last season's football. They're anticipating triple that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just a crazy number just to think about it.
Well, given the amount of there's new sports books out there are new states that have sports betting. So, that number. And you know what? Next year when there are more sports books and there are more states, the number for next year is going to dwarf this year's. So.
And if you think about it, with the national hold numbers still around 8%, 7%, the numbers that they're talking about projecting revenue-wise actually make sense too. For the $12 billion as they're estimating for NFL, they're saying around $800 million in revenue, just for the NFL betting, and for the college betting, $8 billion in handle, $550 million in revenue.
Wow.
So kind of really astronomical. And before this began, back when PASPA was overturned.
Yep, 2018.
These numbers probably were not even considered this early in the U.S. industry. Now it's crazy.
It's growing at an incredible rate.
I'm curious to see how Canada does it too. Now that they've launched single game sports betting, I wonder what their NFL numbers.
It's official now, right? Now official. All the T's have been crossed and the I's have been dotted.
It's just a matter
of
getting the provinces in line to get their regulations all together and launched.
Now it's up to the provinces, huh?
Yeah. So I'm very curious to see how not only NFL does but CFL betting. Because they have college betting, NFL betting, and CFL betting. I don't know if there's CFL betting.
I don't know when their season is. Their season is spring or summer or something like that.
It still falls under football for them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing these the football season first of all, but the numbers after the football season are going to be, I guarantee, staggering. Let's talk a little bit of the top tens that we always go through every time some of these months go by.
So what are the top 10 of?
This is the first one we're going to look at is the top 10 sports betting handle in July of 2021.
Okay.
Now, some of the states still have not released their figures for July. Illinois, we're talking about you because you're slow with that. New Jersey led the nation again, $578.7 million in handle.
All right.
Again, July, it's a slow month.
Sure.
No football. It was the first under $600 million handle that New Jersey's had in a while. Mm-hmm. Nevada came in second with just under $410 million. Pennsylvania was third. Michigan broke into the top five. You have Indiana, $194.5 million in the fifth spot. Rounding out the top 10 was West Virginia right now.
They were 10th?
They were 10th.
Okay.
$21.3 million. Mississippi was just above them with $30.7 million. And you got to remember, Mississippi is competing against states that have online sports betting.
Yeah, Mississippi's only retail only. So they did pretty well.
Good showing by Mississippi there. Top 10 sports betting handle for the entire year. This is nationwide.
For the year so far.
2021.
The first, 6 months or 7 months? What are we into?
This will be 7 months,
okay. July. Up till July.
Yeah.
Okay.
New Jersey, again, top spot, $5.47 billion.
Wow.
Nevada, $3.73 billion, followed closely by Pennsylvania, $3.34 billion. Now, Illinois, again, did not report their July number, so we don't know exactly where they're going to fall in all this. They actually have a shot at getting up to number 2.
Oh, okay.
If they hold on to the numbers that they're doing, because they've gotten through the first 6 months, $3.25 billion, and they're in fourth spot right now without July. So maybe they move up to number 3. Maybe we move up all the way to number 2.
I mean, they're number 4 without July. I can't even. I'm sure they might jump over Pennsylvania. They might even jump over Nevada for the number 2 spot.
Yeah, and coming up quick. Michigan moved up to number 6, $1.86 billion.
Wow,
that's an incredible number for a really. That's still
it's growing.
New industry.
It's still growing, and it's going to be huge. I mean, it'll be constantly in the top 5 from now on, I think.
And Tennessee reported their July numbers. They came in number 9. That's an online only state. Same thing with Virginia. Virginia beat Tennessee, and they haven't reported their July numbers.
Wow.
8th spot went to them with Virginia with $1.33 billion. Tennessee was number 9 with $1.25 billion.
Okay.
Virginia is an astounding market, and that hasn't even really got its legs yet.
Yeah,
That's just launched. Let's talk post-PASPA. This is all time.
All time.
Sports betting handle.
So they released those numbers all time from.
People do the addition. It's easy enough to run a calculator.
Post PASPA from 2018, right?
Yes, exactly.
May of 2018. Yeah.
New Jersey, number 1 again, $17.32 billion. Nevada was number 2 with $16.35 billion. After that, no one's even close. Yeah, Pennsylvania in third place with almost 8.5.
It seems like on all, regardless of how you compute, whether it's monthly, whether it's biannually, or whether it's nationally from the beginning, it seems to be New Jersey 1, Nevada 2, and Pennsylvania 3. Am I correct?
That's pretty
so
much
they're the
right
big
there.
3.
But again, Illinois may alter that.
Sure,
And
absolutely.
You got these other markets just starting to record some numbers. I mean, Colorado's going to challenge at some point. I'm really curious to see the Colorado market with football. I mean, they have that state, Colorado, leads all markets with 26 sports books.
Wow. Okay.
Active in the state.
All right.
Can you imagine that?
26 sports books.
That football market's going to go crazy.
You know, I live in New Jersey, and I'm overwhelmed with 20 online sports books, and that's only online. I mean, I can go to retail in New Jersey, either North Jersey or Atlantic City in the South, or, hey, we're 10 minutes away from Pennsylvania, and they have a ton of stuff there. So
yeah, they're going to get even more because we're going to talk about a couple launches, too.
It's overwhelming, the amount of sports betting options we have.
Well, one little last nugget. With July's report, Nevada joins New Jersey as the only 2 states to clear $1 billion in operator revenue post-PASPA.
Wow, okay.
2 states. So it's always going to be Nevada and New Jersey, I think, for a little while.
Well, for New Jersey, it's just population density. It's the most dense state in the union. There's more people per square mile in New Jersey than any other state in the union. So that's what they're, banking on here. And also, New York doesn't have any mobile yet. So we shall see how
I don't know
New
when they're gonna
Jersey
get
handles
mobile
betting in New York.
It'll be fun to see exactly when mobile launches and really how much of an effect it has on some of the surrounding states, especially in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Let's move over to some launches because you mentioned New Jersey has 20. Among those 20, we have Betway and Barstool Sportsbooks, both of those which just launched.
Okay.
So Barstool is kind of an interesting brand. They are now operating in 7 states.
Okay.
Pennsylvania, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Colorado, Virginia, New Jersey.
All right.
They're actually planning on more launches by the end of the year. They're talking about Arizona for September 9th with the rest of the state launching
great.
there. And that's the beginning of football season. They're also in the process of trying to launch, license-wise, Tennessee, West Virginia, Iowa, and Maryland. Now, Maryland's going to be an interesting one because you're going to start seeing Barstool-branded sportsbooks down there, too.
Great. Good.
It'll be fun to see
Yeah,
that.
I'm not seeing Nevada on your list. I'm surprised they're not going after Nevada.
Well, you got to look at Penn National over there.
Okay, all right.
You got to see exactly how Penn National is going to handle the Nevada market. You might see another merger coming down the road or another skin being granted to like a Barstool at some point.
Okay.
So we'll see. And also, if you think about it, Nevada is one of the few states where online doesn't matter as much because the online percentage of the handle is always around 50%.
Sure.
They're getting more retail business than everybody else, too. Mm-hmm. Over in Iowa, we're going to have a new one in Unibet.
All right.
They launched September 1st.
I like Unibet. I use Unibet a lot.
And we've been talking about Connecticut launching. And,
Connecticut's doing really cool stuff. Well, I got to say, I like it.
It was a report came out, and I think the publication was called The Day. It's a newspaper. Mm-hmm. They had a statement in there saying that the very first in-stadium sports book in the Northeast was confirmed that's going to go in the Hartford XL Center.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is I don't think a pro team even uses that arena. I mean, I don't even know who uses that arena.
It's going to be the first sports book in how do I say it? In arena sports book that doesn't have a full-time pro team in it. You're right.
Yeah.
It's the first one in the country.
I'm trying to figure out who plays in it.
The New York Rangers minor league affiliate.
Okay, all right.
So it's I guess it's an IHL team.
All right, okay.
So it's a minor league hockey team that goes there. That's going to be kind of interesting, Connecticut, because a lot of the pro sports teams do have minor league teams in Connecticut.
Sure.
And they got a good following there. I know Connecticut is half the state's Giants.
Yeah, well, football-wise, look, I mean, the Patriots started in New England in the early 60s. Before that, they were all Giant fans.
Yeah.
So still, there are some remnants of Giants fans up in New England. I mean, especially in Connecticut. Like you said, the southern part of Connecticut, it roots for the Giants or New York teams. I don't know if I don't want to lump them in with all Giants and
Well, you
football.
got a lot of Yankees fans in Greenwich.
Sir, absolutely. And Northern Connecticut, it seems like they go with the New England teams, especially the Patriots in NFL.
And for Mets fans out there, the first sports book in a bar in the Northeast is going to be at Bobby V's.
And,
Bobby Valentine Sports Bar.
And he's in Connecticut, right?
He's in Connecticut.
Bobby V's in
The
Connecticut.
first sports book in a sports bar in the Northeast.
Wow,
He
great.
gets that one. How about that one?
I got to find where that is.
He's got a couple of them. There's like 2 or 3 throughout the state.
I wouldn't mind stopping in. I like. I always love restaurants and bars that are owned by former players. They always seem have. They always. The decoration is great because you have all the old sports memorabilia, you have all the old pictures, and you love eating or drinking in one of those establishments. So yeah, now I got to check out Bobby V's.
And you know what's also cool about a sports bar owned by an athlete? They have a ton of TVs, and they actually cater toward the fantasy and the sports betting crowd, if you think about it. Because
bars with a lot of TVs.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. If you're a restaurant or a bar in a state that has sports betting or is getting sports betting, you got to invest in TVs. I mean, sports betting changes everything, and it changes the restaurant and bar business because people go out to watch the game, and sure, you want the local team on, but, rarely someone just bets on the local team. And, with in-play betting, you kind of have to have all the games on. So it's something to think about if you own a bar or a restaurant somewhere.
I actually wonder if the Connecticut Lottery and the other 2 sports betting operators in the state are going to do what BetMGM did with Buffalo Wild Wings. Are they going to tag a sports bar partner to have a channel in there?
I can
see the Connecticut Lottery doing
that. Let me tell you something. In New Jersey, you can't go out to a bar now that doesn't have like 50 TVs on, because everyone's looking at the TVs, looking at their phones, and you know what they're doing with their phones. They're placing bets or in-play bets and things like that.
Let's hit a couple legislative updates before we move on to some of the deals that we're going to be talking about. We have Wisconsin and North Carolina did some interesting stuff. The Oneida Nation in Wisconsin, they got federal approval of their gaming compact.
Great.
So they will be opening sports books at their casinos probably as early as November. So this is Wisconsin.
Okay.
This is only retail.
All right.
And there will be mobile betting, but only on the casino property.
Okay.
So you don't have to be in the sports book or the casino to bet. You just have to remain on the property.
Okay.
For the Oneida thing. It's Main Street Casino right by the airport. It's going to be the first one, they're saying.
Okay.
North Carolina is interesting. There was a report earlier in the week, last week, that even though the sports betting bill passed through the Senate, that the House may not touch it until the new year. And they were trying to steal people, getting them ready to be disappointed by this year that they're not going to have mobile betting.
Okay.
The House seemed to pass it on the very first reading. They still got to go through a couple more readings.
Sure.
But and then it's got to go to the governor.
Yeah.
But
so there's still plenty of chances for residents of North Carolina to have their hearts broken again.
Exactly.
Yeah. So hold tight. You're not there yet, North Carolina.
Well, right now they currently have retail betting at 2 of the Native American casinos in the western part of the state. The Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians runs 2 casinos out there that have retail betting.
Okay.
But the bill that everyone's talking about would bring in mobile sports betting in the state. Let's talk a couple deals here before we end the segment. We're looking at Caesars Entertainment doing a first-of-its-kind deal with a bowl game.
Wow. Okay. I haven't seen enough of their commercials yet in New Jersey. Oh my God! Every time I either turn on the radio or I turn on the TV, what's that thing? Bet like a Caesar.
Yes.
So, yeah, I actually saw the commercial with comedian Patton Oswalt. So that was pretty good.
They're trying.
No, I think it's great. We're talking about them. I'm constantly seeing them. I'm constantly talking about them. I won some money on them last week. So I bet with them.
They're doing something
I
different.
bet like a Caesar.
It's a little different than all the other sports betting commercials out there.
Sure.
It's nice to see it. I'm hoping other sportsbook operators follow suit. But going back to the deal, first of its kind, with the Fiesta Bowl organization. And as you can tell by the name, they run the Fiesta Bowl.
Yep.
The Caesars Entertainment will be hosting new fan lounges within the stadiums for the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl and the Guaranteed Rate Bowl.
So it's not going to be called the Caesars Fiesta Bowl?
No, it's going to be still the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl.
All right.
This deal is all about customer acquisition for Caesars.
Oh, sure.
They're going to be the title partner of the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl pre-game party.
All right.
And they're also going to be one of the presenting partners for the Arizona Bank and Trust Fiesta Bowl kickoff luncheon.
Oh, okay.
And they're also going to have fan lounges within the stadiums during the games.
Great.
DraftKings did a deal with SimpleBet. This is actually a very good deal for DraftKings. It increases SimpleBet's the micro markets company.
And when we say micro markets,
play by play,
it's the next batter will strike out on these series of
or
pitches.
It could be a fastball,
or is the next pitch a fastball, or how many pitches will this batter see during his time at bat? So those are micro markets. Those are the game within the game. They call it.
Everyone's used to the micro markets by now.
In-play betting, I guess you would call it. Yeah. So.
What makes this special is SimpleBet has now introduced a suite of college football products. These are the first micro markets for college football.
Great.
So, kind of interesting to watch to see how they work with that. They're the first ones to have it. Mm-hmm. Congratulations. That's a great deal, especially now with football season starting up.
I got to tell you, that's a lot of fun doing the in-play betting. You're laying on your couch watching football, and you with your phone in your hand, and boom, you're making money. Love that.
A couple other deals before we end the segment here. ScoreBet is now the official gaming partner of Golf Canada.
All right.
The very first ever gaming partner for Golf Canada, which means you're going to see the CP Women's Open and RBC Canadian Open having ScoreBet activations all across the board with them. FanDuel will be the title sponsor at Kentucky Downs in Franklin, Kentucky for the next 3 years. We don't talk too much horse racing deals. And this is a horse racing deal for FanDuel. They're also going to be the exclusive televised partner for these races.
Okay.
One last little quick note. SportsGrid.
Yeah.
The digital sports network. Very cool network there.
Yep.
They did a multi-year deal with Nexstar, which is a syndication and broadcast company. Mm-hmm. They're going to be creating the SportsGrid network on the actual empty channels that Nexstar has across the country.
Okay.
So you're going to see SportsGrid on a lot of your broadcast networks in San Francisco, Washington D.C., Tampa, Portland, Nashville, Norfolk, and a whole bunch of others.
Okay.
So they are moving from just the digital side to actually some broadcast side too.
Great.
Thanks to the Nexstar deal. That's it for this week. Whatever we didn't cover, and there still was a lot to cover that we didn't have time to do. It'll be in the written form on the Turnpike Sports blog, turnpikesportsradio.com. Click on the blog button, and the printed version of the full book report will be there probably about a half hour after this show is published.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.